Today I want to talk about women's unfair expectations of men. Welcome to the Morrow Marriage podcast, guys. And today we are filming on Christmas Eve. Look at this. We got Christmas mugs. My wife's got her Christmas sweater on. All right. Today I want to talk about women's unfair expectations of men.
Oh.
Now,
fighting words.
Remember, fighting words, especially after the last episode about victimhood.
Ooh, oops.
But the reason why I bring this up is because a man in my community, he feels like women have unfair expectations of men. And I just want to say a resounding shut the fuck up. Everybody has unrealistic expectations of their partner, man or woman. This is not biased, okay? I mean, you're a dude in my program.
Are they unrealistic though? You know my thing.
Which
Strive
part?
for perfection.
You
should always be striving for perfection. This whole be the best version. You should never go around saying, I think I'll be 80% of myself today. So if you're being compared to an unrealistic expectation, why aren't you comparing yourself to that unrealistic expectation so that you can supersede what it is you've been doing?
Fuck, you're my wife. I love you. You're always on the same damn letter, never on the same page. That's exactly where I was going with this. They're only unrealistic if you don't start expecting the best from yourself every day. Kathryn says it so beautifully. She just indicated it right now. You don't wake up and go, fuck. I'm a little exhausted. I'm gonna do 80% today. No, man, you just do fuck all with your day. You want to learn? I'd rather watch Netflix. How many broke people are listening to this going, gosh, thanks, Cass. Thank Kathryn for everything you give for free. And you still don't take the time to learn. That's an expectation you should have of yourself. How many people do you get on the phone with? I get on the guys on the phone all the time, and they know certain things that they just do wrong. And then they say, well, I just don't know how to break it. Listen, I understand certain things like emotional control, but when you're talking about the kind of father you want to be, when you're talking about the kind of husband you want, and you're starting to spit off things that you don't like disrespect. I'm like, when's the last time you called her a name? Well, I haven't been doing it for a while, but I've done it for a long time. Well, then shut up. Have the expectation on yourself first. That is what makes it realistic. How do you do that? It's easy. If you don't know how, you start to look for your core values. Who is the person you want to be? We talk about people not of faith all the time. Whether or not you believe in God, if you think about I was going to say the character. I'm going to go with that in case you don't believe in God. The character in the story of the Bible, Jesus, the Messiah, the hero, wouldn't you want to be loved like that, forgiven like he forgives, respected, honored, cherished? And he did that with everybody. That's why that came back to him. This is exactly the kind of person that you can be in your own relationship. Okay. Those of you who believe in God, wake up. Why would you have unrealistic expectations of your partner, quote unquote, when you can't even first lead yourself? I think it's just it's a resounding shut the fuck up.
I love that.
How many things do you want in your life that you A, don't work towards for you personally? B, who are you following? I think that's great that you're listening to us or you're watching us, but we continue to meet others that can resound. I said resound again. That's probably just because I've been saying it.
It's the word of the day.
That is a word of the day that can throw us, and I mean it, throw us in a brand new direction and get us moving. The connections this woman makes, holy moly.
Thanks,
the powerful, I'll use that in quotations, but the powerful people that we've met, whether that is somebody who's just humbling themselves to join our program, or whether that is somebody who's become so successful in a certain area of their life, is why every area of our life continues to thrive. If you want that, you must have your core values and know the direction that you're going.
And don't tell yourself that anything is unrealistic. Let's use yesterday's meeting as an example.
Please.
So if you tell yourself, I could never meet so-and-so, or I could never do XYZ, you never know who you're going to meet and what you're going to do and what you're capable of unless you put yourself out there. So I had a meeting yesterday. The guy's name is Larry Namer. He is the founder and owner of E-Network Entertainment Television, among other things. Millions and millions and millions of followers, millions and billions of dollars.
More TV shows in any country in the world.
We met one-on-one on Zoom to talk about how he wanted to feature me on a podcast. You know what? If I told myself I can't and I won't and I'm not capable and I'm not good enough, any of those things, I wouldn't have been sitting face-to-face with a man like Larry Namer. And so my point to that is, if you think it might be unrealistic, scratch the off and make it realistic, but go for it. Because you can't, I always say to my clients, Usually when I'm one of the first conversations, it's hard to shoot for the moon when you can't see the moon.
Yes.
So when I'm asking them to set goals and I'm like, what is it that you want for your relationship in the next 12 months? Paint me the picture of what you want your marriage to look like. And they can't imagine what it was like before, even though we talked about it already. They can't remember it being good. And I'm like, listen, I know you can't shoot for the moon because right now the moon doesn't exist, but we're going to pretend that it does. So you can shoot for the moon when you see the moon, but you have to first embody that and envision that so that you can get there.
Yes. And if you understand, your core values, you have daily routines, daily principles. Don't look at discipline like the gurus tell you. It's just doing the same thing every single day. No, it's not, because life will get in the way. What do you always say? Life is not living in a vacuum or something.
You're not living life in a vacuum. And what I mean by that is it's never an ideal situation. Think about the speed limit on the road. They tell you to drive 60. That means ideal. Is it ever ideal? Maybe sometimes, but it's going to be hail. There's going to be rain. There's going to be snow, not here in Texas, but there's going to be snow for you Canadians. I'm sorry about that.
We left that.
Right. And then you're not going to drive 60. So you're not living life in a vacuum. You're not ever going to have the ideal situation. You have to be prepared to deal with things when it snows.
And discipline means no matter what snow comes your way, hailstorm, lightning, thunder, flood, whatever, no matter what, you'll just get back on track after. How do you do that? Because you know who you are with your core values. So you have expectations of yourself. You can measure that every single day. If you don't know how, you need to get into our programs. But when you start to identify the goals and where you're going, the person that you want to be, that vision is way beyond what you guys are often striving for, which is climbing out of shit, or if it was bad as us, hell, okay? And you're striving for normal, which is why you think these expectations are demanding on your partner, and they are unrealistic because you're unrealistic with your own vision of who you are and what you should be doing. Why in the world would Kathryn and I be the kind of partners we are together, constantly lifting each other up, meeting each other every single step of the way, unless we demanded enough from ourselves first? I would not. Every day we say something along the lines of, I got to keep up with you.
Yes.
Both of us say that, right? And why? Because we know who our partner is. The expectations that Kathryn has on herself, she meets them every day. And when she doesn't, it's because she's meeting the next one and she's taking the steps to meet that one. And that's the same as me. So we look at each other differently. We talk to each other differently. We support each other differently. We filter the people in our life and the distractions because we know who we are. And when you do that, the expectations of your partner become different. They're not unrealistic. You see, if I didn't do the work that I'm doing continually to grow, to be a leading man, to continue to provide value, for example, to show men how to do that, well, then why would Kathryn ever think that she would have to meet that, right? But she says, I have to keep up with my husband. I say, I have to keep up with my wife, because we meet it for ourselves. So that is when your expectations become realistic and your partner may not meet you. It's grow or die, people. You either want more for yourself, or you become your quote unquote best version, like the gurus talk about. And then what? You get comfortable again? It's just that you're in a new heightened level. Let's just say you use money, for example. You've always wanted to make 6 figures. Cool. So now you're just going to stop. You're not going to go make 7. You're not going to go make 8. You know, it's the same thing with love. If you understand that the only place for unrealistic expectations is first realistic on yourself, and then if it's grow or die with your partner. But if you can't lead yourself, why would Kathryn think she has to worry about keeping up with me? Like, why would I say that with Kathryn? You guys have to take ownership of this. That's it. Anything else?
I think it's only unrealistic if you're saying something like, I want to grow wings and fly to work tomorrow. Like, you know, when we're setting expectations that we know that it's realistic because you're seeing it in other people. Go back to the episode about victimhood. If you're victimizing yourself because you're like, that's not possible. Well, it is possible. I'm not growing wings and flying to work. I'm actually just saying that you can have what you want in marriage. That's right. Not unrealistic. If you're seeing it, it's actually possible. You see it with your own eyes. There's the moon. Now shoot for it. That's how you're going to get where you need to go.
If you don't know, guys, we have a brand new app, and you can find it in the App Store called Morrow, Morrow, our last name. There is community, there's free resources, there's free starter programs, there are free big programs that actually go really well with our books, guys. So head to go.morrowmarriage.com. That's go.morrowmarriage.com and go get your life. That's right. And you know, this really hits a good point home. Like, there are some people, like you successful businessmen, entrepreneurs, successful businesswomen, entrepreneurs, and you think you got your poop together because out in the real world, it looks fantastic with who you are and what you've done. But the elite, if we look at the top 1%, very few of the people you say follow for business actually have the marriage that you want, right? Very few. To have all three, health, wealth, and relationship, is lying to yourself. That's why your expectations are false. That's why you can't lead your partner and they become unrealistic. This man in the program, he is in and out. He is struggling to follow. He is like the system. I mean, step by step. That's a him problem. If his wife thinks that his wife has, if he thinks his wife has unrealistic expectations, he's taking it personal because he knows it's hard for him to follow all the steps. That's a you problem. Why do you think we charge what we charge? Why do you think we help so many people so fast? Why do you think we are moving faster than every single competitor? You can have this in your life, but you have to go back to the last episode and not be a victim. Start putting those expectations on you and finding a way to make it happen, help or not. And help is a strong yes, resounding yes. There's that word again.
There it is.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.